Okay, what I'm doing here is flying from a school parking lot behind my house, elementary school parking lot. From behind my house, I get up about 100, maybe 150 feet, where I eventually get to here, and then I start my flight forward. I'm going to try and fly over my neighborhood a little bit. I'm still a little nervous about flying over there. There's a lot of power lines and trees and stuff like that. Plus, I got a limited amount of distance that I can still see the drone itself, actually. Um, as I come up to these trees, I decide that the 150 feet is not quite tall enough, so I go up to around 200. I think a lot of the rest of this flight is between 200 and 220 feet here. Another thing, and you'll notice a lot of mistakes I make as I go through this. Another thing I'm fighting is it is a decently bright day, and unfortunately, my glasses are those transition type glasses. They get darker, which is making it very difficult for me to see the iPad Mini that I have attached to this thing. So often, it's so dark that sometimes I lose track of where I'm at. As we're coming across the street here, and we've crossed some smaller power lines, as we come across the street here, I'm trying to find my house. Coming down here, I think that's one neighbor, two neighbors, I think, or one house away from me. I can't see it because of how dark my glasses are. But I eventually get there. And I think there I went up to about 220, just to make sure I had plenty of room for any trees that are in the way. Maybe that was the last thing to get me to about 220. So now we're coming up, and I can just barely, in the video I'm watching, just barely see the house. I don't think I have seen it. That truck you see out in the driveway is my neighbor's house, so that's what helps me identify mine. So now I'm lining it up from my house, which right now is almost directly under me. You're going to see my deck there. I built that deck. It looks like it's dirty, but it's just wet. It rained yesterday. So that is a shot of my deck. And now I didn't spend much time there as I continue out over the neighborhood, flying down the street. And shortly I'm going to realize I'm coming up against a huge power line that I get very nervous and feel that that thing is going to cause some interference. It is pretty high, so I'm not even sure the 200 feet, 220 feet was enough. So as I saw it, I took off and started coming back toward the school. This is the elementary school near my house. And then I start to recover and say, all right, I think I'm far enough away that I'm not getting interference. But as you can see, looking over there to the right, that is pretty tall. I would not feel comfortable going over top of that. I probably need to go to at least 300 feet. And I don't even know if I want to go over it. I mean, that thing's going to cause a lot of interference. And it just bothers me. All right, so now I'm heading back over the playground. We're going to go to an area where I do a lot of my walks, at least the first part of the trail here. So I generally come down through this playground. Off there to the top of the screen is where this trail starts for me. You can kind of see it now as we come up on it. Goes along this creek for a good ways, bending in and out away from the creek. So I come back out over here. There are people out on the trail right now. I'm probably going to go out for a walk myself as this thing renders later. But I come down, there's a bridge with a bicyclist coming down it. I think we're going to see another person walking, some people running. And yep, there's a walker going up to the trash can, actually. I'm not sure if they heard the drone, because I would think a runner, maybe, that person's running right there, they might. The biker probably would not hear it. The walker, I'm not sure if they heard it, because they seem to have paused, and then as our backs are backing off, they start to take off again. And then you're going to see the biker come in the frame, and there's that biker coming into the frame. All right, now I'm going to start heading back as I get my bearings on where I'm at. Again, trying to stay away from those power lines. This is the playground, my local elementary school. And there are some people, you look at those staircases we come up, there'll be some kids coming down it. A lot of people come and play in this playground with their kids on different things. And and play some ball or something like that if the field's not too wet. And it doesn't look like it's too bad. Now we're kind of on me. There I am sitting in the back of my truck, 2012 Tundra Crew Max. Love that truck. And I think I'm going to try the return to home thing. I can't remember exactly what I did here. I know in the second half of this footage, I do the return to home thing. One thing I need to check, I'm not sure what height setting I have it as to the go-to on return to home. So I'm afraid to hit it when it's far enough away from me, because if I have it set to 100 feet, it would hit those trees as it's coming back. I think I had it set to 200. All right, I think right there it's doing that. This is doing the return to home. It should start to come over to our right, because I've been putting the drone on one of those cross where the lines meet. And I think in the next footage I actually go one up, because that one worried me. It came a little too close to the tops of that tree, because if it was off, it was going to hit that tree. So it should be going up and hitting the cross mark right there. I'm not sure why it's not. It's a little bit off. I probably didn't do the precision takeoff, and that was probably what happened there. It didn't do the precision takeoff. All right, now we're going to come up and do the second half. All right, here's the second half of my takeoff. I moved it up one mark to make sure that I had enough space for it to land and not hit those trees. I'm going to do a similar thing. One thing I've looked at since I've done this video is the changing some of the gimbal and camera settings to not be quite so jerky. You notice that I don't do a good job at all of the movement of the camera, and I jerk it around too much. I'm still a little uneasy with the flight and feeling comfortable about flying it around and everything. So here we're going to get up to the height. I think right there I was trying to do precision take off, or whatever it's called, where it does a better job of knowing where it took off from, so it can do the return to home better. And you'll see when it does return to home, it does do a much better job of that. All right, here's a decent view. And as I watched the video, I wish I would have held it here for a little bit longer so you can see. But that is the entrance to my subdivision off there to the right. And we're going to go fly out over there. Again, wow, it looks so crisp and clear here. I was having so much trouble seeing the iPad with those glasses. If I took off my glasses, I could see better on the iPad, but I couldn't see the drone at all. So I was trying to get a balance of seeing the iPad and seeing the drone, and it wasn't working out well. Not being able to see the iPad very well makes you get lost pretty fast. And you can see I haven't gone that far, but I get lost so easily while looking at this. I think my next set of glasses are going to be non-transition. There's those power lines. Maybe if I was another 100 feet, I would go over them right there. But I don't want to risk it. Guy mowing his lawn. And right now I'm going, where the heck am I? I don't know what road this is. Where is it? It's so funny. As I look at this now on the computer, it is so easy for me to tell where this is. When I was looking at it on the iPad, I had no idea. I think this is the way home. And then I started to see things. Okay, I think this is it. Yeah. And there's the truck by my neighbor's truck. And we're going to come back up and see my house. Once I identify my neighbor's truck, then I start doing it. I start coming back. And there we go. You can see my house. Yes, I need to pressure wash my driveway. Wait for it to get a little warmer before I do that, and I will be doing it. Maybe we'll get a little bit better look at my deck, too. I built both of them. One is a 19 by 19, the one on the right. The other one is a 16 by 12. Nice bench seats at the back of each one of them. And you can see one of my grills. All right, and now I think I'm going to head back, come back over the road. There's me in the truck. And once I clear those trees, I am going to try the return to home here, and you'll see it. I think maybe I do it right here, and you'll see it when it comes in, and it'll adjust itself to do a really good job of coming back and landing almost exactly where I put it. Right toward the end of this, a car comes into the parking lot. And of course, my first thought was, oh boy, somebody's trying to track who's been flying over their house. It turned out to be, I think, a high school kid who was coming to play his one of those big musical instruments they carry in a band. You know, huge, I don't know, trumpet, not a trumpet, no, the huge one, I don't know what it's called. I was never very musical. I think he was looking for a place where no one was so he could play and not disturb anybody. And I told him as he came out, I said, no, you're welcome to play here. I'm heading out anyway. So he did. That's why I was walking up. I didn't want that. I didn't know what the car was going to do, and I did not want it landing or parking right where my drone was about to land. And it's supposed to be hitting right in that cross mark, right where those lines meet, and you'll see it adjust and move up and really get close. I mean, you can't ask for much better than that. That's just really good. All right, that's the end of the flight. I think I pick it up here so that that person won't come over and do anything with it. There we go, camera up. And we'll go ahead and end the flight here.